Hey guys, Zycrafter here, and today I am back for another anime versus reality episode, but I am not talking about an anime today. In fact, before we even get into what today's topic is, I want to mention something. One thing I like to do is mention characters' birthdays. And of when this episode is recorded is Miyuki Takara's birthday. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, that character is from Gakugarashi. I'll do a quick check actually to make sure I have it correct. No, Lucky Star. That's embarrassing. That's a bit embarrassing. Anyways, outside of that for today, I'm going to be discussing which of the two anime in the title are better. We got Baccano and Durarara. Both animes are created by the the mangas are created by the same person. They even share the same universe, all this stuff. But today I want to talk about which anime is better. So I already have my answer in mind on which one's better. And straight out of the gate, that's Durarara. But I want to go into more of constructive reasoning why. So I want to talk about the openings, the story, characters, all. What else is there that I would talk about? Just in those three alone, there's a fair bit to talk about with both of these anime. First thing I want to start off with is what you see at the start of each anime, the openings. I love Baccano's opening. I love how simple it is. It's basically a jazz beat. And I know some animes that don't do just a song well. I'm looking at you, Monster, which is an anime that I've got coming up on the list. It is terrible, 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 that one. With Durarara, we get 5 different openings, I think. Yeah, we get 5. But to me, the only real standout opening was the very last one. And I guess that is partially shaped by the fact that by the time I was working on those notes for Durarara, that was the last one I was getting to. But it's the most memorable because it's like very upbeat. It's got a punchy tune and all that. The other openings, like maybe the second one you would remember most from Durarara is the original opening. I think that's the one I think of most. It's either the original or the second one that I think of the most. Although right now my brain is trying to think of another one, and it's just thinking of the last one. It's like, yeah. So in that front, just in openings, I feel like Baccano takes it just because it has the advantage of being a short anime, singular opening, you're good to go sort of thing. Like, I don't even think the OVAs have different openings in Baccano. So yeah, Baccano takes that point. It's the other 2 points where it loses out rather easily. Because with characters, like, there's two sort of considerations in characters. You gotta consider how they are portrayed and how much you like the character. With Baccano, there was only really like 2 characters that I liked, and that was Isaac and Maria. So yeah, that really docks points from that. Yeah, it really just docks points when it's just like there's only 2 characters I like, and they're like they are in most of the anime, but a lot of that is split up across the episodes, so that's the only reason why they're in so much of it. But so yeah, that's like my opinion of Baccano in that front. However, it's only strong, like it's only good characters in Baccano appear in Durarara. Durarara has many favorite characters. I love Shizuo. I love Izaya. I honestly, Mikado, like Celti, yes. Like outside the main 3, almost it's like all the other characters are farther unique. And then it's just like these 3 in the middle. Like you got Mikado, Henri, and what was his name? I remember his like account name, which was Blackula. Oh, Blackula or something. Which is funny to think about it. I remember that about this character more than his character. I knew he was the leader of the Yellow Scarves. Spoiler for that. But yeah, those 3, like, while being the center characters, didn't feel like much. But then there was that, like, 2 episodes actually. There was 2 episodes where Isaac and Maria appeared in the scenes. I'm like, it really, like, that is the most solid connection back to Baccano. But it's like, Isaac and Maria are my favorite characters of Baccano. So now it cancelled out its own points by having them appear in Durarara. So that is a massive loss. Like, Durarara easily takes that point. So we're at 1-1 here. The last point I want to talk about is story. Baccano fails. It fails in its story, almost. Because the idea of the anime is that it's non-linear. Not many people like non-linear stories, especially when you could go from a scene in 1931 straight to 1932, sometimes without even realizing that happened. Like, it can transition between in time and space without you knowing. It's like, that really just makes it bad. Like, it tarnishes any reputation it can merit from being a good anime. Like, they do one episode right at the midpoint, right in the middle of the story, where it's all in it's all in 1711, like the origin of the story. There was points in that where I was actually confused on what day the story was going on, because it had like bits of the future before the past, and then the past just blended right into the future at the same time. It absolutely butchered that. Like, non-linear does not work if you're gonna be constantly jumping around. I'm trying to think of a show that does this, and I can't really think of that. There's a show I did start watching on Netflix called it's called Kaleidoscope, where you can pick the order of the episodes you watch the episodes in for that show. And doing so, you can learn context of characters. And like if you watch it in release order, it doesn't make sense. But I'm guessing if you watched it in like chronological order, it would make more sense. I don't know. So yeah, that is just a big like smackdown on Buckno for that. It really just falters at that point. Now, on the other hand, Durarara does a good job with their story. Durarara does have one issue of character, like main character bloat is how I would describe it. Because yes, we have the main three characters in the three friends. But then there's episodes, like each episode has a different narrator, so it's like each episode's almost like its own, like has its own main character, which is not bad. I don't want to be seen as the person critiquing it for having multiple main characters. It can do that if it wants. It's just there are some points where it actually does like rewind the clock, but it's like we're not watching the same thing over and over. Almost, we're watching new context. We're getting context to stuff that's going to happen in the future. Trying to think what else. Also, another knockdown, like another knock that happens to be aimed at Baccano is actually in Baccano. Spoilers for Baccano here, but in Baccano, there's a character a character named Goose that has a gun where you push it against someone and you close your fist and it fires. Meanwhile, in Durarara, Mikado, in the final like few episodes, has the same technology as Goose, and they even like reference where it came from. Like an American terrorist, I think Mikado says. It's like, that is awesome. It's like those little details. And also with Baccano, Isaac and Maria reference the Three Kingdoms, which, like, they don't, like, they have read it, but they're not smart enough to understand it. And then jumping forward to the time of Durarara, we have Izia, who also brings up the same story of the Three Kingdoms in reference to the war he has created, basically. It's just stuff like that that just really drives Durarara up in how good it is. Which I want to bring it to a sort of bonus category, mainly for Durarara, because Baccano is unable to make these references to other anime, but Durarara is stacked with references. Like, from Kita, that's who it was. From Kita doing a reference to Cowboy Bebop with how Spike aims his gun and shoots and all that, to posters for a mobile game. Durarara just dwarfs that front, and it almost seems like an unfair comparison in a way, but like when your story is like built around the concept of being a real world, it just makes it look so much better. And like even in Durarara, we get a reference to Spice and Wolf, which I do have coming up on my list. It in very quick succession. But it's like we just get all these references. Like, if I was to show you the Google Doc where I hold all the research that I do for the anime, because I actually do research when I feel is necessary for episodes, I have a whole page dedicated to just the research or like the references in Durarara. Like Durarara, what has sort of almost inspired me to want to make a connected anime multiverse. Just from the fact that Durarara has so many anime references, as well as like Lucky Star having them as well. But yeah, I hate to that's why, in my opinion, Baccano is inferior by miles to Durarara. Durarara just feels more lived in. It has better story. It has better characters. The only point Baccano got was openings. It's like, whoo. The distance between the two. It's like Baccano's down here, Durarara's all the way like off the screen. I don't know what else I could actually say about this anime, or about these anime. Like, I like in Baccano there is the whole concept of immortals. Like, both the shows have a sort of supernatural element to them, which could also be the other reason I decided to compare these two. But no, I compare them because they're by the same creator. Like, both of them are still pretty good anime. Like, both I would recommend, but I'll be putting Durarara above Baccano in my recommendation list. Or if I ever get around to doing my ranking list of all the anime I've watched, unfortunately, Durarara goes probably way above Baccano. If I ever do that ranking video, it's gonna be so hard. But okay, that's a 20-minute discussion. That was nice. There's not much else I could really say about this anime. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna end this episode, end this sort of small episode. This isn't really like, this is a podcast episode, but it's like a podcast mini comparison video. I hope you did enjoy this one, and I'm gonna end this little episode here. Links will for YouTube. Links will be in the description to both the channels and to Twitch for you guys to go check out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm Psycrafter. Psycrafter out.